we're down with Kate. Kate's one of our newer drivers on the grid, racing in the Mini 7S class. How are you getting on?
Great, thank you. I'm in my learning phase, so I'm really excited just to get out on track, learn what it feels like to race a car. So different to normal driving, as I've learned. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it at the moment, yeah.
And why Mini?
Minis, I think, are a great beginner's car. Like, if you're trying to get into racing, a Mini is such a good thing to start with because you learn so much about the feel of car. You've got the sort of different ways that they can be set up and things, and they're like go-karts really in a car form. So it's been great for me to learn on this rather than, also something more dangerous like, an open wheel car or something. I'm absolutely not going to start with that. So yeah, it's really good.
Do you think you're going to stay with the Minis now? You're with the Mini 7 Racing Club, or have you got other plans?
At the moment, I'm definitely staying. I'd like to get a handle on this first, keep learning, and maybe, in a few years or something, I'd try something else. But I'm really liking the Minis at the moment. Yeah.
Do you ever offer any advice to people that come around and say, I'd really love to join in?
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is, if you're looking at joining a club or starting racing, go and see a race in person. Talk to people, they'll give you advice about, mechanics to talk to, about things they did wrong on their car. We've had people already this weekend say, I'm building a car, what would you recommend, what would you do differently? And I think that's so useful because you can get contacts and learn. It's how we sort of came into this, and people are really helpful, so they'll give you good advice. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks very much, Kate. And I noticed you're next to your dad.
Yeah.
So your dad's got a new build. If I come on over, Nigel, this looks spectacular. Is this a brand new build?
Well, it's been restored recently, certainly. It's a 1965 car that was originally registered in Sweden, but in about 2000 it was brought over to the UK and is now being raced by me, which is very exciting. It's classed as a historic car, which I think is quite appropriate to someone who's as old as me. So,
well, I've seen you competing in the S-Class as well.
Yes, indeed. I love the S-Class. The trouble is we've only got one S-Class to share between us. So on this weekend, I'm in the historic and Kate's taken the S-Class. It's a wonderful formula, of course, ideal for people who are just starting out in Minis.
So you're competing in the Sanwa Trophy this weekend?
That's right, yes indeed. It's a trophy that's been going for a number of years. Slightly worrying for me is that Stig Blomqvist drove this car a few years ago, I think it was 2014, and unfortunately won the race, so I'm feeling under a bit of pressure.
Do you feel more nervous driving or spectating when your daughter's racing?
I really was very nervous the first time I saw Kate racing, I will confess. But now she is off on her own, and she knows what she's doing. She sorts her own tyre pressures out, and she does a great job. So I feel much less worried now.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much for speaking to us, and best of luck. And the car looks amazing.
Thank you. Great pleasure.